Hey, everybody, just want to introduce myself. My name is Tony. Um, my profile name, I think, is, I don't know if it's Antonio or I am that I am saves. It's one of those. But I just want to send out a message today, and thanks to Kevin, Mr. Beckles, for putting this group together so we can kind of share on the foundation of God's word and kind of lead each other, be there for each other overall. But I have a lot of life experiences and life wisdom overall, through God. And the most recent is, something tragic happened this past Friday. I ride motorcycles, and I went to a barbecue this past Friday, and I encountered a young lady. She was kind of explaining how she does food prepping, and everybody kind of got in on a conversation. And I asked her a few questions, and talking directly to her. She was explaining things to me, how to build muscle, all that kind of stuff, because I work out and everything. But fast forward, everybody was planning to go to another spot, on their bikes and everything, and I left before everybody. Met one of my other friends at another bike meet. So we left that bike meet and came back up 75 north, and got stuck in traffic. It was just sitting there. So we kind of, lane split. It went between the cars and got up to the front. Come to find out, that same girl I was talking to an hour before that was laying out there with a sheet over on the pavement. She was riding with another guy, and evidently, from what I'm learning, they had been doing a little drinking, and it was about 5 or 6 bikes, and they were, going in and out of traffic, doing like 140, 150 miles per hour. And he changed lanes and ran into a car, and they slid and fell. And he got injured pretty bad, and she basically died out there. So that was like it messed me up, when I got up there. Like, it was just, I didn't know who it was at first. I just know a girl had died, but they told me later it was the girl that was at that barbecue that everybody was talking to. And it, it kind of put things in perspective overall. Like, life is like literally short, you know what I'm saying? And we gotta, I guess I don't want to use the word more serious, but kind of, surrender everything to God overall. Cause you don't know when it's your time, and that was the first time I had that experience to where I actually met somebody and they were gone an hour later. So it just, reminded me to always put Christ first, and, our foundation is on Christ overall. And we build off that no matter what you're going through, you know what I'm saying? Cause we all have our life battles, obstacles and everything, but God is always there. He doesn't ever leave us. He's always on our side, no matter what you're going through. Even if you fail, if you fall that day, or you have a season of, difficult situations, or you have a season of not trusting God, and you just mad at God about something. God doesn't ever leave you, He's always there to get you through it. And he doesn't need you to meet him when you're perfect. He wants to meet you, in your worst times. And it doesn't matter what it is, and I could think of one of the worst things, ever is, to possibly lose a child. I'm sure people have dealt with that. And I've seen stories where people just had to literally lean on God because of that. And, my grandmother, her first 3 kids, she lost them all in the house fire, when she was younger. And it's like, that's always in the back of my mind, that she actually went through that and actually lived her life, depending on God for everything, and that's amazing that she can actually go through something so tragic and actually depend on God, but just overall, message is just, just surrender everything to God no matter what. And just, really take, depending on God and living for God more serious overall. And if you haven't committed your life to Christ, I really advise you to really pray and ask God to lead and guide you, to really trust in him, and, to accept his free gift of salvation. And, and sincerely, accept it, in repentance of your old self, and, surrender your life to God overall. And, let it be from your heart. And, you do that when you're ready, and God, God knows who's his, and he knows who's going to choose him at the end of the day. So he'll put it in your heart and lead you. But, overall, I just want to say that. And, again, I'm happy to be a part of this group, and look forward to hear from everybody else.